One of the most common mistakes that you're likely to make in January is entering an incorrect date. You're still in the habit of typing 2014, so almost without thinking you enter the date 07/01/2014. We tab along, enter some other details. And then we'll save the transaction. Now, as January to December is also one of the most common financial year, the transaction falls into month 1 of your current 2014 financial year, and therefore you don't receive any warning about backdating it. Problems can also occur if you try to backdate a transaction and don't enter the full date. So for example, if I want to backdate a transaction to December and I only enter the day and the month, so for instance we'll do 29th of the 12th and then just press the tab key, you'll see that the date defaults, or the year in the date defaults, to 2015. Now in this example we've got a warning saying date entered is outside of the current financial year, but if we tick the box to pause this message for the financial year 2015, so let's just do that so we can see what it looks like for future transactions. Let's just discard the one that's there. We'll enter it again. So we'll do 29/12. Then as we press tab, you'll see the date defaults to 2015, which is obviously a future date. So instead of backdating the transaction, we future dated it. If you realise your mistake straight away, then you can simply amend the date within transactions. Now, if you're using Sage Accounts 2014 and below, you'll need to go to File, Maintenance and then Corrections. If you're on the latest version, just discard that screen and then it's straight into Transactions, and you'll find the corrections options at the top. So we can just highlight this bank payment that we've backdated to 2014 by mistake, click Edit, click Yes to close any other windows that we've got open, and it's this date here, this created on date, that we need to amend. So you just click in the box and then we're just going to amend the date, so we can either type it in or select it from the calendar. And once you've done that, click Save. You'll be prompted to confirm, do you wish to post these changes? We click Yes, and that's it done, and you'll see the transaction has now been updated with the correct year on there. One thing to quickly mention is that the date is classed as what's termed a critical field, and if you amend a critical field on a transaction, the transaction is updated with the new details, and a copy of the original transaction, including the incorrect date, is posted to the end of the audit trail with the original details. The transaction appears in red, meaning that it's not a live transaction, and these red transactions also appear in your activity windows. Now, if you're not already aware, you can hide these transactions from your activity windows. They will still appear in the transactions window or the financials window if you're on the earlier version. However, if you want to hide it from your activity windows, you simply go into Settings, Company Preferences, click Yes to the prompt to close the other windows, and then on the Parameters tab, it's this checkbox here, Exclude Delete Transactions. Just make sure it's ticked, and it means that when you're viewing the likes of your customer activity, your supplier activity, nominal activities, you won't see those deleted transactions, you'll just see the live transactions only. One other point to mention is that if it's a journal you've incorrectly dated, then you can't correct it in this way. Instead, you'll need to reverse and repost the journal.